All right, Bulls Nation, it is time to check in yet again with one of our very favorite and one of the very best NBA reporters out there. He is, of course, the guy you can catch writing and reporting on the NBA for the Stein Line, his Substack. Subscribe to it if you haven't already. He does that with the People's Insider, Jake Fisher. You can also, of course, catch him regularly making appearances on DLLS, Mavs, and the All-NBA pod, all within our All-City Network family of basketball coverage. Follow him at The Stein Line. The one, the only legend, Marc Stein, joins us now. Stein, what's up, buddy?
Those reads, that was the best 2 minutes of my day. No exaggeration. That is the gospel
Mavs crew
right there.
Or the All-NBA crew started making you read any ads yet, Stein?
No, because they know I can't come close to that standard of what you guys do. I mean,
notice how they've just cut me out of the screen now. It's just these two. They don't want anything except for greatness in that shot. I love it.
Could you imagine if the Bulls had a deadline half as energetic as that?
Oh God! Stein, what are you talking about? AK made so many trades.
We've criticized them for inactivity. We cannot. That is one thing that cannot be said in 2026. Very active trade deadline for the Bulls of Chicago. Yeah. Productive, that's another matter. But active, yes. We can say active. I was just
about to ask you. Active, yes. Productive, where do you stand on that? You traded away the remaining parts of your core. Coby's gone. Io's gone. Vuce is gone. Herter was on expiring, but you trade him too. You bring in a bevy of journeyman guards, some of whom are former lottery picks, all of whom are also expiring contracts, and a bunch of second-round picks. What did you make of the entirety of the moves? And was there one in particular you liked or one in particular that you really questioned?
Well, I mean, I think I'm really searching here for the words.
It's all no, like, I've been here. It's
okay. When you get 9 second rounders and everybody's like trying to go, wow, the Bulls went from 5 second rounders to 14, and then they end up having to forfeit one because the Hornets get Coby White in town and say, you know what, you're gonna have to get, scrap one of those. You're down to 8. Like, that's a pretty good metaphor for the deadline. And Goat Gottlieb will back me up here. I've seen the memes about, showing Caruso and then everybody they just traded. And they really did net 0 first rounders out of that group? Does the Zach LaVine trade count as 1 first rounder? What is the actual math?
The Zach LaVine trade, I think, technically counts, but they also traded that pick away previously in the DeMar DeRozan trade where they originally acquired him. So they got a pick back. I don't know. I feel like the Zach trade actually ended up being pretty good when you look at what happened with Trae Young and Anthony Davis. I guess Davis got 2 big first-round picks.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like what other teams traded
what
their
other teams
stars
got. I got you.
But, yeah, I mean, for me, and I don't know what you thought about like any of the individual trades, Mark, but it was good for them to start offloading some players. We thought the Ivey trade was good to just like, okay, Kevin Herter, not a part of the future here. Let's take a chance on Jaden Ivey. But then when it came down to the Coby White and Dosunmu deals, I just wonder how there wasn't a better offer out there.
Yeah, and look, let's be honest. I've been on this show many times, and I've always said that, I was at least intrigued by the White-Giddey pairing and what we saw in the, the stretch run, or what was it, 17-7, whatever it was for 25-ish games. It looked decent, and we never saw it again because of Kobe's injuries. And, look, Coby White, he gambled on himself, and, he's going to have to rebuild his own value in the free agent market. I'm sure this did not turn out the way he was hoping, but the best thing you can say, look, all the talk about the Bulls leading up to the deadline was they want to be active, they want to be aggressive, they want to use all these expirings they have to really make a mark. Did they make a mark? No. I mean, do they amass some seconds for future business? Yes. Presumably they're a tank team now. I mean, this is a subject we got to get into because the whole league is talking about it. They're not going to win 39 games and make the play-in now, right? Can I make that assumption?
You'd like to.
You'd like to. Yeah. That would be the hope.
Safely can. But.
And the wish. But you just never know because they're going to play to win because, of the coach that they have. Billy's going to play to win. So it's not about development so
Players
much.
playing for contracts, too.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys might be playing above their heads.
Well, is this the year that, the last two lotteries, Atlanta Hawks had the 10th worst record in the NBA, won the Risachet lottery. The Dallas Mavericks had the 11th worst record in the league. Think they won a coin flip
with us,
with the Bulls of Chicago to get that spot. 1.8% chance at the number 1 overall pick. Maybe crazy things happen in threes. Maybe the Bulls come storming in from number 10. Who do you want, Peck? Do you want DeBonsa? You want Boozer? You want Peterson? Who do you want?
Yes, please.
yes.
Get me into the top 3, and I will happily take any of them.
Top 6 might be good enough in this draft. Like, you're not going to maybe get franchise players at 5 or 6, but I think teams are excited about your Flemings and your Waglers also. Like this draft. That's why it's not even Valentine's Day. And apart from the Mark Cuban story, there's been nothing I've talked about with people, no matter who I speak to in the league, coaches, players, agents, executives, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about tanking because this draft is so tantalizing. And everybody in the top 10, with the exception of New Orleans, which has to send its pick to Atlanta, everybody is dreaming of a lottery miracle or lottery luck or whatever term you want to use.
On that, just real quick, what do you think the Bucks are going to do here? Because obviously they didn't move Giannis. They presumably, from a franchise organizational perspective, want to get the highest possible pick that they can just so that they have options this summer. But Giannis isn't going to want to sit on the bench and let this season rot away. They're really the one team the Bulls could jump. Do you expect them to try a little bit or...
That was not good. That was not good.
Is that a metaphor for what you think the Bucks will do the rest of
the
way?
No.
That's a tank job right there.
That was just an old man who earlier today tweeted that Brandon Ingram is still on New Orleans. That's just an old man knocking over his whole setup. It's a great question, and I have to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know because all the talk leading up to the deadline was the Bucks, if they're going to keep Giannis, they want to tank. They'll be hoping for lottery luck and hoping that pick they get either gives them a shot at a really good player or a centerpiece of a trade to make a win now trade that improves the supporting cast and gives Giannis a reason to stay. So you would think the Bucks would just implore Giannis, you've had 2 calf strains and an adductor strain this season. Please sit for the rest of the year and get right. And instead, what's happening, we're hearing rumbles that Giannis has not ruled himself out of the All-Star game yet.
Oh, my gosh.
Wants to come back after the All-Star game. And the Bucks just made a win-now signing by bringing in Cam Thomas. That is not a tank move. So maybe the Bulls can dream of at least leapfrogging Milwaukee, but why the Bucks would not just want to tank as hard as they can from here, I do not know.
We need all
going
that
down
luck.
with the ship.
I will happily take all of that. Stein, of the trades that the Bulls made, like Ayo to Minnesota, Vucevic over to Boston, Coby to the Hornets, which one do you like the fit the most for the teams that they went to?
Were any of them fit based? I don't feel like any of them were fit motivated. I think it was all let's get seconds. We can't get first, so let's get as many seconds as we can, and they did do that. But I mean, this was a very bizarre trade deadline. I mean, we saw the Jazz, the Wizards, and the Pacers make the biggest moves, take the splashiest swings, but they were all moves for next season. We saw the Thunder, who I don't need to remind my friends in the CHGO chat, the Thunder do not often part with first-round picks. The Thunder traded a first. The Bulls didn't get any first, and the Thunder actually traded one at this deadline in the McCain deal. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I think was unexpected. Look, I'm a Yabusele fan. I still think the guy can play. The fact that he surrendered his player option for next season, that is a good bit of business to get a free look at him. I don't think that does any harm. I agree with you. It's interesting that Minnesota probably could have gone for Coby White, and instead they went for Io. So that's certainly an interesting choice, but this ain't a Wolves podcast. So I mean, I don't like I don't know how fun of a discussion that is for us.
Well, Io's looked pretty good in his first couple of Wolves games. I think he's a great fit there.
So weird to see
but
him
Stein, I'm curious. You talk about all the talk leading up to the deadline. The Bulls brought in some guys in some of their first trades who then got flipped before that Thursday deadline passed. Conley arrived and then was flipped. Usman Jang arrived and then was flipped. There was some talk that the Bulls had similar hopes or plans for Collin Sexton and Anfernee Simons. Neither happened. Both players are still here, both on expiring contracts. Bulls fans wondering what the heck the plan is for those two, who are already getting huge minutes and high usage percentage in their first handful of Bulls games. I'm curious if you heard anything to confirm that the Bulls were actually trying to flip those guys before the deadline passed.
I mean, unconfirmed rumbles, I guess, but I never really heard of them being in on something significant. And, Simons has a much higher number. So, I mean, both of those players are harder to move. I mean, what are they at, like 28 and 19? I'm guessing off the top of my head. Am I close there on the...
Just about. I think it's 27
in the ballpark.
and 18 or something like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know that flipping them, how realistic that really was. But, it really... And look, we have criticized these guys for a lack of activity. So I mean, you can't say that. Yeah, rightfully so before. But this deadline, you can't say that. The Friday going into trade deadline, there had only been one trade. The Bulls jumped in as the third team on the Keon Ellis, DeAndre Hunter deal, made all these little moves that they make. And look, I do think second round picks have some utility. You can put, as we saw with Coby White. If you have 3 or 4 seconds with some good management, if your timing is good, you can turn 3 or 4 seconds into a good player if you are striking at the right moment. I mean, I'm still a Coby White fan. His whole season has just played out in very uneven, disappointing fashion, and I'm sure this is not the outcome he was expecting at all. And he can't even start his Hornets career because he's got another calf issue. So, but going forward, I hate saying this because it's just such. But this is again the topic of the week and the topic of the moment in the NBA. But I really hope the Bulls, for their own sake, can have some lottery luck here and not storm. What are they? 24 and 29 or
24 and 30 after last night.
Yeah, 24 and 30. So, man, don't tell me they're going to go on. Don't tell me that they're not going to go on a 15 and 9 surge to end the season. Right?
Don't jinx us, Stein. A little bit of OT here if you want the bonus coverage. If you're watching streaming, just head to allchgo.com. Stein, if you were to give this front office a grade, A to F scale, for the collection of moves that AK made at this trade deadline and how you feel about what they plan to do with their current pieces moving forward, what is that grade? Because I saw that they got some Bs and some B pluses for certain specific moves that they made. ESPN people. Yeah, okay. I'm surprised, but they got some kind grades.
I'm going to get individual.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give them a charitable C because of the volume and. Can I get away with saying creativity that we don't normally see? So, I mean,
yeah.
8 seconds is not nothing.
It's not. It's just that
it's not 2 firsts.
No,
but it's not nothing.
It was just simply that the way that it was said previously is that the seconds weren't a valuable thing. And then they went and got all of them.
How are you guys going through it one trade at a time? Like, give me a set.
Oh,
what was this show like?
It went from the first, like, oh man, okay, that makes sense. That's a solid move, the Dario Saric
bookkeeping move.
Yeah, I was
Sure.
like, that's
Okay.
that's a
Was
good
like
one.
this.
And then, we get Vooch. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I feel that. You get something back. Cool.
Check
I
it
got
out.
it going on. All right. Okay, we're doing, what was Coby?
Ivey.
Kobe.
Herder. Right, the Herder move.
yeah.
I was like,
going up.
okay, yeah.
Pretty
I was
good.
like, I like this. This is going great. This is all right. This is cool. Then the Coby move. And it was like, wait, I'm confused. We getting more and then the Io move. Wait, what? Wait, what? What's happening right here? And then, and then it was just more confusing. So it's like I started high and then ended here, and they had me exactly in their sweet spot, which is the middle. That's where I kind of landed at, because I couldn't understand obtaining, some of these players and keeping some of these players like Sexton, like
But remember, this team definitely does not want to be in the middle.
Yes.
I want to underline that, and let's make
No.
that clear.
Yeah,
They
no.
do not. They definitely do not want to be in the middle.